Welcome to my channel Code with Fernando. Today we're going to continue phase 2 module 2 operators overview. This is going to be like part 2 video, okay? Transformation operators. Purpose. We use these operators to change or enrich data as it flows through the stream, okay? So what are those operators? Map. For synchronous one-to-one transformations, for example, converting book titles to uppercase, or flatMap for asynchronous transformations, for example, calling a remote service or a database or merging that result. Why it matters? Map keeps the flow simple and fast for lightweight conversions. On the other hand, we have flatMap, handles operations that return another Mono or Flux, and flattens the result into a main pipeline. Okay, so real world used for enriching items, transforming DTOs, or fetching related data in a reactive non-blocking way. Let's continue with transformation operators example. Okay, I created this private static method. Okay, just its name is getPrice, and it returns a mono. Okay, with this text. Simple as that. We pass a title as a parameter of type string. Now let's create our flux. Okay, as usual, let's call this original, so we have a better understanding what we are doing here. Okay, let's take the flux of type string. Let's call this flux books. Okay, and let's create it. Just clean code. Very nice book, by the way. Let's call the other one Reactive Spring. And the other one, let's call it refactoring. Okay. And here, let's make, no, simple as that. Okay. Then what do we do? Let's use a map operator, okay? Because this operator will transform our titles to uppercase. So how do we do that? Okay, let's call books. We need to map title. I'm sorry, title like that. Now title to uppercase. Okay. Then let's call the do on next. Okay, title map uppercase, simple as that. And okay, let's add the title in here. Okay, now let's subscribe. Okay, so let's see what's happened. Okay, let's call this application. Nice. We have these titles, they're in uppercase because this operator is transforming the titles to uppercase. Okay, let's continue with the other example. Let me do this, some spaces in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, nice. So now we are going to use flatMap for this one. Okay, so flatMap will simulate a sync call lookup of book prices. Use flatMap. Yes, that's it. Okay, so how do we do? Let's create a flux first. String book titles, and then flux. Just what about this book? Domain driven design. The other one will be called effective Java. Okay, now book titles. Okay, let's use this operator flatMap. Okay, flatMap title Okay, then let's call this method get book price. Okay, so for that we are gonna call this method, and we need to pass the parameter. In this case will be title. This let's pass title. Okay, then do next price info. Okay, and that's what we are getting. We are retrieve price info. Okay. Um. Okay. It's not like that. It's like that. Okay. And finally, let's subscribe to that. Okay. Let's see what happened now. Let me comment this. We don't need to see this. I think it's gonna be kind of confusing. Nice. Fetching price for domain-driven design. Okay. Let's this text that you see here is coming from here, from this method get book price. Okay, fetching price for title of a book, fetching price for title of a book. After that, we get to this method do on next. Okay, do on next signal. We get retrieve and price is multiplied by 2 according to the length. Okay, title length multiplied by 2. Okay, so we are demonstrating how to use map and flatMap. Then we have filtering operators. Purpose: remove unwanted or irrelevant data from the stream. What it demonstrates: exclude books that are out of stock. Okay, this is some examples, just like that. Remove books with very short titles. Okay, so with a word of use, this is perfect for preparing clean data sets. Show only valid items in an online catalog, or maybe filtering user input. Okay, let's create our code sample about filter operators. For that, I need to create a static class. Let's call this class book. Okay, this class will have a string title. And what about stock? Okay, let's create a constructor with both of them. Okay, now that we have, and let's create our books. Flux of type book. Okay, let's call this books and flux just. Okay, in here we are going to create new book. We need to pass a title. What about clean code? The other one, let's have 12. Okay, let me copy this. I think 4 is okay. Okay, the other one, let's call reactive spring. Reactive spring. So this one we have 0. No books about this. Okay, the other one will be called DDD. DD, and let's give this 5. In here, finally, let's call this effective Java. Effective Java. And this book will have 2 in stock. Okay, nice. Let me do this. Okay, now what do? We're going to use a filter operator. Okay, so let's call this. Let's call books filter. We have access to each book. Okay, I want the book and they're in stock. I'm gonna place here some comments so you have a better understanding. Only books that are that are in stock. Nice. After that, we are going to use again filter operator. Okay, book. I have access to books now. Okay, so I want book. I'm sorry. Book title. Book title length. Okay, this must be greater than or equal to 5. Okay, now what do? Let's use do next. Do next and book. Let's print the message available book. Okay, nice. called book title. Now let's subscribe to this. Simple as that. So this one, some comment, and title must be at least 5 characters. At least 5 characters. Okay, so whatever we're going to see in here. So first of all, we are filtering the books that are in stock. Okay, so we won't see this book. After that, we are filtering the books which title length is greater or equal to 5. So we have 1, 2, 3 books. Okay, greater than 5. I think this one is 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, for sure. Okay, let's see this. Let me print this. Clean code, effective Java. Nice. This one is a stock, okay, effective Java, okay, but the length, the title length is greater or equal to 5. That's why we don't see this book. And now how I demonstrate how to use filter operator. Let's continue with combining operators. Operator zip, okay, combines values from multiple sources, one by position. Just when items should be paired step by step, like two people walking side by side, okay? They move in synchrony. It's great for matching books with titles with prices, for example, merging other datasets. Next operator, merge. Mix fastest first. Okay, it emits value as soon as they arrive, preserving their emission order. Use when timing matters more than order. Okay, timing, in this timing. Okay, like two people walking, you record what each says as they speak. This is great for handling real-time alerts, mixing event streams. And then we have combineLatest. Always use the latest because you see the word latest, right? Emits a new value every time any source updates, combining the latest from all. Use when you always want the freshest data combination, like two sensors updating independently. Every update gives you a current snapshot. This is great for example, live dashboard or UIs, streams with different update speeds, dynamic calculations. Let's continue with our code demonstration about combining operators. Okay, so first of all, let me create, okay, I will comment something here. First, we'll use zip operator. Okay, zip operator, and we are going to combine book titles with prices. Okay, great. So let's create our static method. Static, it will be type of void. Okay, I don't want this method to return anything. Let's call this example. Simple as that. Okay, so what do we have inside? Our flux type string. Okay, let's call this title. Flux just. Okay, what about this book? Reactive Java. Clean code and effective Java. Okay, then what do we do? Let's create our flux prices. Flux, okay, double prices. Flux just. What about 39 point like that? 29.99 cents. 49.99 cents. So now what do? We are going to use the zip. Okay. How do we do that? Let's call flux. It will be type string. Okay. Let's call this combine. Okay. Flux. Now let's use zip. So how do we do that? Titles and prices. Great. So now we have access to those. Let's map here. This is a tuple. Okay. Tuple. okay, plus, and here, what about this symbol, dollar, okay, great, now tuple, get T2, okay, great. Now, what do we need to do? We need to subscribe, combine, subscribe, okay, let's do this out, method reference, okay, great. So now from here, from our main method, okay, we are going to call this static method. So let me print something here so we have a better idea what are we doing here. 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we are going to print zip and combine book title and price. Okay, great. Now let's call our zip example. Simple as that. Great. Combining, okay, combine book title and price. That's what we get, okay, the book, because we are combining here. Okay, so when to use zip? Whenever you want to combine items in order one by one, a great idea is to use zip. Think of it like, for example, two people, right, walking side by side. They only take a step when both are ready, okay? So that's the reason why we use zip, okay? Let's continue with the other static method that we have in here. Our other static method will be called, let me call this at number 1, great, and here 2. Now we're going to use combineLatest. Okay, in here, what I'm going to do is combine latest stock and discount. This is an example, okay? So let's create our static method, private static method actually. It will be void. Let's call combine. No, combine latest example. Okay. Now, what do we get in here? Okay, flux type integer. Where are you, integer? Okay, let's call this stock. Okay, and let's create our flux. Just, okay. Now, what do we get in here? What about 100, 80, and 50? Okay, now what do? We are going to delay some elements. Delay elements, duration, not in seconds, duration of milliseconds. Okay, now 400. Great. Now, another discount. Flux of type, not string, will be integer, I think. Yeah, sure, integer. This will be discount. Flux, just here about discount 10, 20, and 30% of discount. So now we are going to do the same from here. Okay, but not 400. What about 600 now? 600. Okay, great. Now we are going to combine. We are going to use the combineLatest operator. For that, what we do? Another flux, the string. Okay, let's call this combine. Okay, now flux combineLatest. Okay, now in here, what we going to add? Stock and discount. Great. Now we have access to both of them. And here what about what text should I put in here? Stock. Okay, stock. Great. Units. What about discount? Great. Okay, and signal percentage. Okay, that's it. No need, no more. Okay. Okay, now we need to subscribe. Sure. Combine, subscribe. Okay, now let's call this system out method reference. Okay, great. So when to use combineLatest? I think when you want to always work with the most recent values from each source. I think that's the best idea when to use combineLatest. Okay, so think of it like two sensors updating at different times. Every time one updates, you get a new combined snapshot using the latest data from both. Okay, so when you want to work with the most recent values, that's the reason why you should work with combineLatest example. Okay, great. Okay, let's continue. Let me print something here so we have a better idea what we're doing. First of all, let's thread sleep. What about 2000? Okay, sleep. Oh, it's complaining. Okay, add up section. Great. Okay, now in here, well, let me print something. And what about combineLatest? combineLatest. Okay, combineLatest. We like at the stock. Okay, and discount discount info. Okay, that's great. No more. Now we call this method combineLatest. Okay, now no, not yet. Okay, we are going to call this method combineLatest. Okay. Okay, after that we need to add a thread sleep. What about 3000? Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, I'm commenting this and we are going to see combineLatest example in action. Oh, great. 100 units discount 10%. Great. This is great. Okay, let's continue with the final one, merge. Okay, merge. Let's go through here. Another static method. Okay, let's call this merge. Merge. Merge reviews and alerts. They arrive. Okay, here what do? Let's get our private static method void. Let's call the merge example. Okay, now what do? Let's create a flux type string. Sure. Let's call the reviews and flux just. What about great book? Why not? Great book. What else? Another. Love it. Love it. Okay. Whenever you read a good book, you have to give some review. Delay elements. Okay. Duration of millis. Okay. Here about 300. Okay, 300. Then another flux. Flux step string. Alerts. And what about flux? Flux just. Okay, lost. What about that? Lost stock. Okay, great. The other one will be price drop. Okay, here delay elements. The elements. Okay, duration in millis. Also in here. What about 500? Okay, great. So now let's use the merge operator. Okay, another flux type string. Let's call it merge. Okay, flux merge reviews and alerts. Okay, now we need to subscribe. Merge, subscribe. And what about message? Message. Okay, great. So you might be asking when to use merge. Okay, so whenever you want to merge items, as soon as they arrive, it doesn't matter the order. I will repeat this again. When you want to merge items, as soon as they arrive, that's when you want to use merge. Okay, think of it like, for example, two people talking at the same time. You write down what each says in real time. Okay, so that's when you want to use merge. Okay, so let's continue with our code demonstration. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. We are going to print something. What about some space in here? Okay, then this is going to be merge. Okay, merge. Merging. Yeah, sure. Book review and alerts. Great. So in here, let's call merging sample, and also let's add the thread slip. Okay, what about 5,000 here? Great. Let's run this again. Let's see this in action. Great. Now it's completed. Price drop. Great. Thank you. Okay, summary. Map, flatMap, and filter. Okay, they help transform and find data as it flows. Then we have zip, merge, and combineLatest. Allow combining or synchronizing multiple streams. Then we have intermediate operators such as map, filter. Okay, they shape the stream, but they don't trigger execution. Okay, they don't trigger execution. That's why they are called intermediate operators. Finally, we have terminal operators. Okay, like subscribe or block are required to start data flow. Okay, these operators form the foundation of reactive programming, enable expressive, declarative, and maintainable data pipeline. Thank you.